Right now I'm going to show you guys how to build a project just like what you've just seen. So the first thing you need is a domain and hosting. A domain basically is like a URL which people uses to access your website. This is what you need, and an hosting is basically where you're going to be uploading your files. So you need these basic two things to be able to put your site on the online, right? So once you have these two things, then you can follow this step to continue with me, and you can also have this site hosted on your local host if you want to. So guys, I'm just going to be logging into my hostinger, because for this project I'm going to be using an hostinger. If you're using a cPanel or whatsoever you're using, then fine, whichever your hosting company gives you, you can still replicate this process to be able to follow up, guys. So right here we have the public underscore HTML, right? And I'm just going to come over here, then I'm going to create a subdomain, right? I'm just going to call this I'm just going to search subdomain, right? So right here we have this. I'm just going to call it test, right? Then I'm going to click, it says create custom folder for subdomain. I'm just going to ignore, and then I'm going to click on create, right? So the subdomain has been created, test.thedomain.com. I'm just going to go ahead and then go back, right? And then come over to overview, right? And then I already opened the whole file. I'm just going to refresh, and I should have my subdomain which I created right here. I will just let me just go back. So basically I would not like to complicate issue. First of all, I'll just go ahead and then click on this subdomain, right? Then I'm going to go ahead and then delete. So I'm going to create a folder instead, so that I won't complicate issue. I'll create this test, right? And then create a custom folder, and then I'm going to name it test, right? So it says use public underscore HTML directory. We can decide to enforce this, right? So actually the folder name is actually optional. I can decide to turn this on, right, to be able to like use the public underscore HTML folder directly, but let's just leave it with this test, right? Then I'm going to click on create, right? So I've successfully been able to like create my subdomain. Then let's just go back to overview, and then we are going to go back to file manager, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and then close this, because we're opening a new tab, and then right here we have this. Then we should see the subdomain test which we created, and here we have it. So the next thing I'm going to do is to just, it says default.php, default.php.old. I'm not interested in all this, so just go ahead and delete, and then go ahead and then upload the scripts for this project. So I'm just going to go ahead and then click on this and click on file, and then go ahead and upload the project. So guys, in a couple of seconds we have the script uploaded successfully. I'm just going to go ahead and click, and then right click and click on extract. So basically on Hostinger, which is on HPanel, if you want to extract a file, you have to create a folder. This folder is basically temporary. I'm just going to go ahead and then create a folder called HH, and then I have the script extracted in it. I'm just going to go ahead and then open this and move all files to my subdomain, which is test, right? So I'm just going to scroll down to make sure that all files are complete right here. So we have all files complete. I'm just going to go ahead and select all, right, and then click on this to move, and I'm just going to click this to go back, and then go ahead and then move all files, guys. So all files are successfully been moved to the folder which I created, test, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and then delete this, right? So to be able to find your database file, all you need to do is come over to SQL. You'll find the database file, right? So I'm just going to come over to this point and then create my database for this project. Wait, click on database, and right here it asks me for database name, username. I'm just going to call this Spring, right? You can actually give your database any name, not limited to what I'm giving it. So it's a database name and it has to be unique. So you don't have to do the same thing I'm doing, like giving it the same name I'm giving mine. Just going to go ahead and then copy this. So the next thing I'm just going to do is, I already have this database.sql downloaded, so go ahead and then download it on your PC. I'm just going to head over to db.php, which is where I'm going to be connecting my database. Right here we have db.php. I'm going to right click and click on this, right? So right here it says username. I'm just going to go ahead and then put this. as my username, and then I'm just going to go ahead and then copy this, right, and then I'm just going to paste it here. Just going to select all right, and then I'm going to paste it here, right, and then I'm going to make sure I copy the password correctly without mistake. Let me just go ahead and generate another, right, select. So I've copied, and then I'll go ahead and then paste it here, right. So I'll go ahead and then click on save changes. So changes has been saved. I'll go ahead and then create, right. So my database has been created. I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down and then click enter PHP my admin. So basically what we're about to do now is to upload our database file, right. It always comes with .sql. That's what we just downloaded not quite long. I'm just going to click on import and then choose file. So great. So right here I've choose file. We have the database. I'm just going to scroll down and then I'm going to click on import to be able to import this database. So the database has been imported successfully. So I want you to take note of this, right. So after importing your database, the first thing you should go to is your admin table. So right here we have your username and password. So this is basically what you're going to be using to log in to your admin. You know, we have our admin URL, that is your domain slash admin slash signin.php, right. So right here we have username, and you can go ahead and change this to whatsoever you want to change it to. So right here we have settings, and basically this is where you're doing your site settings if you don't want to do it directly in the admin dashboard. So you can just come over here and then put in your site title. Right here put in your site name. Right here you put in your site URL, right. So let's say we want to put in our site URL, which is test, right. Just going to come over here, right. Just going to call this test, right, dot, then I'll paste this, right. Just going to go ahead and then remove all this. So I've successfully changed the site name. So I can just come over here and also change site title. So let's just say support. Let's give the support, right. So it's interesting. Let's give it support, right. So right here we have site name. I can just call it spring, right, spring courier. Great. So if I scroll forward, we have phone, whereby you can actually set the phone number you want to use. We have show map, yes, invoice stamps, and this is also very important. You also make sure you set your email address so that your site can be able to send email, right. So basically all details have been set correctly. So right now we are basically done with the major step. So the next thing is to go ahead and then visit our website. Right here we have a new tab. I'll just go ahead and then put in the subdomain which we created and then hit enter, guys. So in a couple of seconds we have our website back online. So we have logo cargo transit. We have one of the best and exactly just like what we had shown previously, right. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to change this logo. So the first thing you're going to do is you just go ahead and then right click and then copy image link, right, to be able to find out which location is this image. So it says the location is asset/img. So all you need to do is come over to your file manager, locate assets, locate img, right, and then you're going to find logo.ph. So right here we have logo.ph, we have logo-. If you notice, we all have and literally the same image and all this. So just go ahead and then replace it with your own image. So probably your logo or whatever you want to use as your either your favicon and your logo. So just put whatever you know suits the project you are carrying, right. So after doing this, all you need to do is to make your website go live and you are good to go. So let's try and see our admin link. We just click on we're just going to put admin, right, slash sign in, right, .php, right, and then hit enter. So right here we have admin link. I'll just put admin, right, then password 126, right, 56. We have signed in, and then right here we have our admin dashboard. We have our tracking. We have shipping settings, general settings, and so on, guys. So I believe this video you found it helpful.